Hello, Team Transtastic. I'm Julian, and the topic of the week is I don't know because the topic of the week is being in women's spaces. Well, I'm on T. I'm not in women's spaces anymore, I guess. So when I just first started my transition and I started to try to present more as male and live as male and everything, I remember that one of the very first things that I noticed was the fact that I didn't want to use the women's washrooms at school, or at any place really. But school was as a space that I could, that I felt like I could control. I talked with a couple of teachers and everything, and they said, okay, oh sure. They talked with the principal, and the principal said that it was fine, that I could use the men's washrooms, and that if anything happened to me, that I could go with them, and just that they were on my side basically. So after coming out and living as a trans guy for a couple of years, so I'm a feminist, right? And I have a lot of friends, mostly women, who are feminists as well, and sometimes they hold events. I remember that I was very interested in going to those events, going to their meetings, talking with them about feminist issues, etc. But this is before I started testosterone and everything. But I was very welcome in those spaces all of the time. But at some point, when I started testosterone and I started to pass more, and I started to see how some of these friends turned into radical feminism basically, and started to exclude men and everything, how feminism is a movement solely for women and by women and everything, and men have no business in it. And I thought, and that made me think, well, maybe that is right. I mean, I want to take my part seriously. I want to take my part, and I mean my part as a man, seriously, and go, well, maybe as a man I do not have an opinion on what feminism is, or it's not. I have my reservation, my own reservations about trans exclusionary radical feminism, but that's besides the point. You can totally, and this is something that I've heard from actual radfems, that's why I'm repeating it, you can always make your own spaces. So let's make our own trans feminist spaces instead of trying to literally be where we are not welcomed. So sometimes they have their events on March 8th, so Women's Day, and there's also mostly in Latin America they have this event that is basically like a women's march. I don't think I got invited, but I saw the invitation in Facebook, in WhatsApp groups, and I thought, oh, a lot of my friends are gonna be there. But let's think, I'm saying that's a women's space. Maybe I should not try to be there. From my own experience, that's how I see it. I don't get involved in that. I get involved in feminism as in I learn and I read and I get informed and I support them, but in whatever they may need. But I'm not physically in those spaces, or maybe even in the debates. The debates are for women only, basically. Anyways, that's it. Maybe if you've had similar experiences where you've been first in a group of feminism, of feminist women, and then as you transitioned, you were in a position where should I keep going to the meetings? Should I go to the women's march? Because I mean, when we talk about transitioning, that transition is gradually. You don't one day show up and say, hey girls, I'm a dude now, so I'm gonna go, as if you don't care anymore about feminist issues. So how was that for some of you? Maybe you can tell me in the comments. And yeah, and I think that's that. I will see you next week. Goodbye.